Good afternoon, profit traders, or shall I say good evening. This is Rick with Hit and Run Candlesticks.com. I've got 5 charts I'd like to take a look at tonight on this YouTube video on how we might be trading them and how we are trading a couple of them. The first one is FXEN. That's FXEN. FXEN has put in a very nice little wave 1 bottom, has pulled back to a higher low, and now starting to move up on the third bar here over the 50 simple moving average, making a higher high. This is a classic, absolute classic hit and run candlestick chart pattern with something we follow every day. The low to high, high to low, low to high. Also, this rounded bottom breakout that we're in, just one of our favorite chart patterns. We're looking for the 200-day simple moving averages to be a target. So that puts us, if we split the difference in here somewhere, I don't know, 30% from the 50 where we first started talking about it, about 40 to 45% to the 200 up here. Please keep in mind that I do not think that it's necessarily going to go straight up like that. I suspect it's going to move up at some sort of an angle, and then what's going to happen is we'll see a little, we may see a little more move to the upside right into here maybe, and then a little pullback to set up for our bottom, and then we'll see it come back up. Maybe even do this process again before we get to the 200. And you'll notice that we have a nice little J hook here. We also have a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, simple low, higher high, higher low, higher high. The next chart we want to take a look at is APOL. APOL is just another classic hit and run candlestick chart pattern. Again, this rounded bottom breakout, and you can see we've popped up over the moving averages. In fact, let's see, we had this, we were buying this 5 days ago, last week or so, when it was actually still moving to the downside. You know what? It was 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 days ago on this candle right here, where everything was still moving down, and we had this little pop reversal. The next day we held it because we're taking a look at the chart. We just realized, you know, this chart is still setting up. We're not looking at micromanaging a chart. We're looking at trading this from this bottom area up. 15 to 20% to the upside. So we don't really care about a couple of percent to the downside as long as it holds this area here. And sure enough, that's just what it did. Now, we did not expect this to happen. Did not at all expect for this. For the time being, I'm going to call this a moving average engulf, where we have an engulf of the big three, the 20 simple, the 34 EMA, and the 50 simple. We had a nice little engulf there with a little consolidation, and now it's starting back up. Once again, this is another chart that we think is direction, trading in the direction of the 200 simple. I do not think it's going to go straight up like that. I think it's more likely to do a little more to the upside, do a little pullback, a little more up to the upside, a little pullback. That typical chart pattern right there, which would give us a low, high, higher low, higher high, low, high, higher low, higher high. Very typical chart pattern coming out of our rounded bottom breakout. The other one we want to look at is GLD. GLD, we started talking about this a week or so ago, basically on this last gap to the downside. And we talked about this in the live trading room, where this gap down, these two gaps downs on this heavy volume, this is probably an exhaustion gap, and we're very likely to see a little bounce up. Well, that's just exactly what would happen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 days to the upside. Good little percentage move for anyone that traded there. The thing now is, I would be a little cautious. Now, we could certainly get a little more to the upside, but at this point, I would be a little bit cautious, because the likelihood, and like I say, we could get a little more up. That's very possible, but we're in that extremely dangerous area where we're very likely to see a pullback. Now where that pullback comes to, that's another question right there. But what we're going to do is we're going to let it pull back, and then we're going to watch for a possible bounce off this low. It might even pull down below it a little bit, might not even get there. But the main thing we're going to do is we're going to look for a bullish reversal signal in here. We're not going to trade back with this unless we see that reversal signal, and then we'll look to trade it to the upside. And then what may happen is we have this this chart pattern that starts looking a little bit like this. Now, I drew this right here. I'm not saying this is where it's going to be, because we have no idea of the future. You cannot predict the future, whether this is going to start moving up in 2, 3 days, 5 days, 10 days, 20 days. The main thing is here is we've made our money on it. Those that traded it, it's time to be out of it. It's time to consider those profits. Let it pull back and wait for a re-entry, and wait for that reversal signal for that re-entry, and we'll talk about it at that time. Another chart we have here is RNDY. RNDY is a great looking chart. RNDY is actually from a rounded bottom breakout. RNDY's up about 53%. We were kind of late talking about this, and we did not catch that rounded bottom breakout. However, we did post it as one of our featured trade ideas between this red and green line here, back here, and we're up. Me personally, I'm not up 21%, 22%, but those that bought it, you're up 20% or so, 22, 23%. We have sold it, and we have since bought it back. We are now in RNDY again from this reversal right in here. RNDY is setting up for a little J-hook breakout. I would look at trading this anything higher to the upside. And if we take a look at a weekly chart, this looks to me like it still has some room to run in the $9 area. So $9 area puts us another 30%, give or take a little bit. So RNDY's still looking good at this point. Just remember to protect your profits, and then we'll watch for any big dynamic moves. We'll look at taking some profits, and any pullbacks, we'll look at those as re-entry points on that. The last one we want to look at is TAN, T-A-N. Now, we sold our TAN today for a nice 13%, but what I want to point out here mostly is this is just an absolute classic hit and run candlestick. Low, high, higher, low, and then a higher high chart pattern, where we put in this let's see here, let's draw some lines where we put in this wave 1, wave 2, wave 3. We look at catching it in this bottoming area right there. This first wave, what we see here is some buyers stepping into this. When we see the buyers stepping in like this, now if we can catch it down early, that's great. This is not one that was caught early. Now, some in the room may have caught it. Personally, I did not, but I did look at the pullback. It was mentioned to me, I believe, on this gap up is where it was mentioned, right in this area right here. I bought it instantly. It was mentioned in the trading room by one of the members. Bought it instantly here, and I've sold it today. The reason I sold it, 13%. That's enough reason. Nope, there is not a sell signal on here, but it is coming up to the resistance area. And what are the probabilities? The higher it moves up, the stronger probabilities of a pullback. This is what we don't want to be doing, is buying in this area. What we do want to be doing is start looking for a pullback. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to pull back. Not at all. This thing could this could continue to move up. But right now, we've taken our profits. We're going to look for a pullback, and then what we're going to do is look for that buy signal, that bottoming signal, and then we'll look to trade it back up. Whether that bottoming signal happens in this area or in this area, or even not quite as much of a pullback, just a little bit, we'll look at trading that. But right now it's gone too far. Okay, again, I want to say this is Rick from hitandruncandlesticks.com. Thank you very, very much for watching this 10-minute video. Sorry it's so long. Hope to see you in the chat room, and remember, tomorrow night is our member e-learning night that is still open to the public. Good night.